Okay, this is just a random kind of video, just showing you guys, I don't know, it's not really worth probably for anybody to go see, but just kind of a behind the scenes kind of thing at the suggestion of one of the people who commented on one of my videos kindly suggested that I get a ring light, and yeah, this is one of the first things. It's kind of how I tend to do things is just kind of like even if it's like a book that I hear just like a few good things, like a few kind of good words, I'm like, oh, I gotta order it instantly, kind of, as if that, I'm not trying to necessarily that makes things happier or it makes you a happy person just because you have sort of right setup and equipment. That's why I was like kind of a little bit skeptical of getting new lighting just because of how I bought this other kind of, it was affordable LED kind of lights that had box light kind of thing set up. And yeah, this is drastically different. I mean, the box lighting was like okay, but it kind of was like a little lacking in that it was like these big, like, well, boxes obviously, so they were like really obtuse, and I had to like put them behind, and I usually like kind of flooded in with backlighting. You can tell I don't like know all that much about lighting. There are people that are gaffers and people who make trades out of this stuff, and that it's not my domain. It's more like kind of a, what is it, like an not auxiliary, tertiary kind of concern for me. It's more definitely something that helps. I mean, obviously, maybe it is fitting because like I do some dark literature, not a no. um, it's not like I'm into the whole dark academia kind of thing, but I mean, that whole kind of aesthetic of dark academia. I feel like it's a little bit surface level. But whatever. That's just my for a different video. But yeah, but yeah, it's definitely better than not having this glaring difference. And obviously, this is my cell phone. Obviously, um, just because. Yeah, here's the camera. Here, yeah, Sony A7. Yeah. Oh, this is probably like the main thing, the main kind of thing. I am trying to make a short film right now, and it is basically, I don't know what it is. It seems to be a series of vignettes. Vignettes. Yeah, there's not much action. There's not much. I mean, in a sense, I guess. Um, I guess it's not really. Film doesn't have to be, like a hero's journey, kind of Joseph Campbell, plot driven thing where there's a call to action, resolution, and conflict, all that. Not in that particular order, but yeah, it doesn't really. Not every single film has to have that, but it does help, I guess. And the thing I'm working on with the footage I have so far, has none of that. So, another reason probably the bad lighting. So I'm gonna try to focus a little on the um, subject of lighting. Probably another reason is because of how the glare on my computer screen. So like right now you can't see it. Well, you probably can't see it, but like, okay, there we go. So you do get that kind of thing. Now, one reason is I will admit I do have notes that I'm more comfortable writing on my computer. Most of the notes are like just very sparse things. They're just like they're not even. They're just like like the date that the author was born or certain things like that. Which even then I get some are getting right. I often get wrong just because I might not even write that down, surprisingly. But anyway, but yeah, the which other people have also pointed out in different videos, like pointing out little things that details I missed. But I am, yeah, I'm just generally not super concerned with. I will try to kind of make thoroughly kind of do more of a thing. The problem is I know I spread myself too thin, and like for one thing is like I am trying to kind of do a little bit more. Like I'm trying to right here. Yeah, Simulacra and Simulation by Jean Baudelaire, and yeah, this was something a long time coming of me waiting for this because I bought this like at least a year ago. And I had it on my list for at least like a few, maybe 3 or 4 years now. That ever since hearing about it, and I do know that um, it plays a big part in like kind of like post-structural and deconstructional, more so deconstructural kind of postmodern thinking as well. But it is, you know, not quite. He seems to be Baudelaire seems to be going into kind of a social theory, I believe. One of the things that he's known for is cultural theories, yeah, and philosopher. So he's like going in on the idea of simulation and what that is. And there's like a, I think he says that there's like a the way he describes like the first thing in this book was the 4 stages of the simulacra in simulation. Is that there's the first one is like the faithful image and copy stage. So there's just like the thing, the kind of representations that we make, and then there's like the second stage, which is like the kind of corruption of reality, I guess. I think that's what he calls it. Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, but yeah, that's for the video. But I just feel like I'm not quite well versed enough in it yet to be able to kind of point all these things out, because he doesn't really have too many diagrams. So he just more so has certain references. Like one of them was to the novel Crash by J.G. Ballard, which I have on my list. So I actually got the audiobook, which I do have a bit of a like. The reason I do is because, judging from there's a bit of a lengthy quote that Baudrillard puts in Simulacra and Simulation, which is like, he goes all, where in Crash by J.G. Ballard, it talks about the violence and the hyper violent. Like there's like a hyper real kind of violence, and it's like very grotesque detail. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Georges Bataille, in his Story of the Eye, and his kind of the character's fixation on violence, and how and the grotesque in these things, and just like hyper, like completely accelerating that kind of thing. This is me talking off the top of my head, but anyway, but yeah, that's why I want to go into it. I want to go into this next review not really just picking it up and being like, oh, here it goes, which I do with like some books, because it's like, for me it's like, okay, so I, when I finished semi-recently, when I finished A Happy Death by Albert Camus, that was like, okay, so that was like something I felt like I was still had it, the kind of the bulk of the novel kind of still kind of fresh in my mind, and it was like, wow, that's really beautifully written, and I actually just kind of want to get it, out there before I kind of that fizzled away. I know that's kind of me just kind of relying off of kind of that initial kind of feeling of that some books give you elation, kind of elation or sadness or what have you. But yeah, I am also in the middle of a couple books. The Pigeon by Patrick Suskind. I'm only like literally 10 to 20 pages out of a 70 to 80 page book, so it is a short story, I believe. And then The King in Yellow by Robert W. Chambers, which I got years ago, actually. Was on my the slings so pretty darn good that it actually goes all the way to the other side of the room, and I can actually show, which is more stuff that you guys probably don't want to know about, but like the fact that the older cat that comes in here, black, not the tabby cat, but the black kind of tuxedo cat, she comes in here and then she pukes all over the floor, and I'm just like got used to it. So it's like, it's basically, since she's growing old and she's senile, senescent cat, so she's like going around kind of, yeah, she's probably a septuagenarian at this point in cat years, so yeah, definitely, I feel bad for her, but yeah, she does come in here and then like puke all over the floor. I mean, it's better than pooping all over the floor. I'll take that, I guess. But it is something where, in case you're wondering why these corporates are blotchy and disgusting. But anyway, so that's probably TMI. But yeah, so anyway, so going back to, oh yeah, I did finish, I don't know what I want to do quite yet, with the Mikhail Lermontov. Mikhail Lermontov. I did hear about him very vaguely, just kind of in passing. It could have just been me, as simple as seeing a mention of it in somebody else's like video or something on YouTube. But I don't even know if I watched the review for it. I just kind of saw people reviewing it, and I was like, okay, well, he's kind of the missing link, I think. He died at 26. I don't quite remember. It was 1840. It was the year that A Hero of His Time, was written, and yeah, it's like a great kind of masterwork for him, because he was like trying to, I think it was like, I don't know if he fully finished it, but I think what we see was what we get from Lermontov, and he actually, I believe he died in a duel, all up, Pushkin, with, yeah, I think I can't remember what the grounds of that were, but yeah, he died in a duel, I think. Um, but I think the events are hazy to what led up to that. But he, not surprising. There's many kind of mentions of that kind of those kind of actions happening in like a Cossack kind of military things, and they're kind of dispatched. I will admit, kind of that kind of older style, and was kind of that text coming manuscript coming from like the 1840s 1830s, that kind of was a little bit hard to read, but like this, it is a kind of military setting, back when kind of the military was something that you could kind of like always join as a conscript, I guess, and like you could kind of join a group of people kind of in different ragtag, different variations of professional kind of things, and then there was like the higher officers who were like very kind of the higher status of society, which is what led Gogol, I believe, to kind of be able to satirize kind of the class divisions in Russia. So anyway, so that's one thing that I finished, and yeah. Now this is all of a sudden just a bookshelf thing. Anyway, but yeah, so, and then I have Butcher's Crossing by John Williams, which I have yet to read because I really wanted to savor it. But yeah, so, and yeah, various other activities that never come to fruition is like modern Greek or Demotic Greek, I think it's called. Never gonna happen. I believe I will try to make don't promise anything, but a very elementary version of Spanish. Something like this, just because it was in my parents' library, and pretty much, it's pretty much easy to kind of, for me to, I just picked it up. But yeah. Anyway, so yeah. Oh, and yeah, I think I still have Gaddis's stuff down there. But yeah, so anyway, but that's pretty much all I have, I guess. Other settings on the light. It's supposed to be about the light, but then I got carried away. But anyway, so yeah, there's like this gradations of that, increments of, and then the RGB is just, yeah. I'm not sure if I really need that to get in kind of whatever kind of thing, but yeah. And I did look at some samples and like what it looks like on the camera with all the kind of different varying white balances and kind of automatic settings and kind of features on there available, and with the low lighting capabilities like that plus that light should, I hope, to be kind of good enough. And this is only $35 off of Amazon, so that's definitely worth it. And yeah, thanks again to whoever. I wish I had the name, channel or whatever. But yeah, thanks again for that recommendation. And yeah, let's end on a blue note or a green note. And yeah, that's all I have for this moment. Thanks for watching.